What is it now? Double kill! What, mortal? Agreed. Greetings. What is it now? Greetings. That was my plan. I must hunt soon. Very well. That was my plan. Agreed. You thought of that? Death rages. I hunger. Agreed. What, mortal? Greetings. I must hunt soon. What? Thought of that? Greeting. What, mortal? I must hunt soon. That was my plan. Very well. That was my plan. Agreed. What, mortal? I must hunt soon. Die. Very well. That was my plan. Very well. Death rages. Die. You thought of that? That was my plan. Very well. What is it now? Agreed. That was my plan. Agreed. I hunger. That was my plan. Agreed. My plan. Die. Very well. You thought of that? Agreed. You thought of that? That was my plan. Agreed. Very well. That was my plan. You thought of that. Agreed. That was my plan. Very well. Agreed. Greetings. I must hunt soon. What is it now? I must hunt soon. What is it now? What, mortal? Must hunt soon. That was my plan. Agreed. You thought of that? Agreed. Very well. That was my plan. Very well. You thought of that? That was my plan. Very well. What is it now? You thought of that? Very well. I hunger. Greetings. I must hunt soon.
Welcome to our village.
What is it now? Agreed. Very well. Agreed. Your soul is mine. Death rages. You thought of that? What? That was my plan. I hunger. Agreed. That was my plan. Greetings. You thought of that? Die. What is it now? Death rages. Agreed. You thought of that? Very well. Agreed. You thought of that? Agreed. You thought of that? Very well. That was my plan. Very well. I hunger. Agreed. Very well. That was my plan. What, mortal? Greetings. What is it now? I must hunt soon. What is it now? What, mortal? Agreed. Greetings. What, mortal? What is it now? I must hunt soon. Greetings. Very well. Die.
Hello there.
I must hunt soon. Greetings. I must
We're
hunt
under
soon.
attack!
What is it now? You thought of that? Greetings. Agreed. You thought of that? Agreed. I hunger. That was my plan. Agreed. What is it now? You thought of that? Agreed. Rages. That was my plan. Very well. The night beckons. I must hunt soon. What, mortal? What is it now? Greetings. What, mortal? That was my plan. What is it now? Greetings. Must hunt soon. Greetings. You thought of that? What, mortal? I must hunt soon. Very well. That was my plan. Very well. I hunger. You thought of that? Riches. Agreed. Very well. That was my plan. Very well. That was my plan. What, mortal? What is it now? What, mortal? You thought of that? Very well. Greetings. You thought of that? I hunger. What, mortal? Agreed. That was my plan. I must hunt soon. You thought of that? That was my plan. You thought of that?
Research complete.
That was my plan. You thought of that? That was my plan. What, mortal? Thought of that? That was my plan. Death rages. You thought of that? I must hunt soon. Agreed. You thought of that? Very well. You thought of that? I hunger. What? I hunger. Very well. You thought of that? That was my plan. Agreed. You thought of that? I must hunt soon. That was my plan. What is it? What, mortal? Greetings. What is it now? Agreed. I must hunt soon. What, mortal? Greetings. What is it now? That was my plan. I must hunt soon. Greetings. You thought of that? Agreed. I must hunt soon. Greetings. What, mortal? Very well. That was my plan. Greetings. What, mortal? You thought of that? What is it now? Greetings. Very well. What, mortal? I must hunt. What, mortal? You thought of that? Very well. I must hunt soon. Greetings. Die. Agreed. Very well. That was my plan. I hunger. Must hunt soon. Die. Agreed. You thought of that? That was my plan. Very well. You thought of that? Death rages. What? That was my plan. You thought of that? That was my plan. Agreed. Greetings. What, mortal? I must hunt soon. That was my plan. Greetings. Agreed. You thought of that? Agreed. You thought of that? Very well. That was my plan. Agreed. That was my plan. What is it now? Greetings. What, mortal? Agreed. That was my plan. Agreed. That was my plan. Agreed. That was my plan. Agreed. I hunger. That was my plan. Very well. Agreed. What is it now? Death rages. Very well. You thought of that? Agreed. Very well. That was my plan. Very well. Greetings. That was my plan. Very well. Agreed. I hunger. You thought of that? That was my plan. What, mortal? What is it now? I must hunt soon. Agreed. You thought of that? Your soul is mine. Death rages. Agreed. Very well. Agreed. You thought of that? That was my plan. Very well. That was my plan. Agreed. I hunger.